The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Trader's Edge with Steve Rhodes. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-873-7618. The Trader's Edge. Now, Steve Rhodes.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to the December 14th, the wonderful Wednesday edition of today's Trader's Edge show. I'm your host, Stevie Perseverance Rhodes, who absolutely knows that each of us should always be pioneers of our future versus prisoners of our past. Hope everyone out there is having a great day. And let's make sure we have an extraordinary one. The easiest way to do that is to always remember that life is happening for us, not to us. That's right. When you and I make that one little 2x4 shift, well, it means we can find the gift in every set of circumstance that life is going to toss at us. Now, today, you and I, we're going to go check on the circumstance of these markets. We'll go figure out what those bulls and bears, what those buyers and sellers are communicating to you and I at just past 11 o'clock in the morning. And I do want you to know I'm absolutely grateful for your presence here. But more important than that, and that's this, during this next 53 minutes, I'm here to serve you. So feel free to pick up that phone. You can dial on in at 877-927-6648. Would love to hear from you. If you can't dial in but you still have a question, go ahead and send me an email. Send that one to steve@tfnn.com. And if you'd be kind enough in that subject, then put radio show question. Of course, if you're inside our Tiger's Den, well, any and every ping will do. So let's go ahead and get this show started on wonderful Wednesday. Of course, this is Tiger Financial News Network. I'm Steve Rhodes. Welcome to the show. All the U.S. indices that we track trading the upside. Dow's up about 200 points, 0.6%. 0.6 for the S&P and NASDAQ 100 as well. It's 23 and 64 points respectively. Russell's up 0.6. That's about 11 points. Semis are up 0.3 or 9 points. Strandy's up 1 3/10%. 189 points there. Gold is back $3. Trade out 18.22. Silver's up 6 pennies at 24.05. Light sweet crude is up $1.50. 76.94 is the print there. Natural gas back 33 cents, and the 30-year Treasury is flat at 131.08. Now leading the charge, dollar-wise to the upside, you've got Moderna up $14. ServiceNow is up 11. Broadcom is 11. Solar Edge about 11. Avidity Bioscience is up $8. That's a 71% move to the upside. Charter Communications is taking the shorts, nearly 50% haircut, down $11 and change. Albemarle is down 5%, or about $13. You've got Tesla up $5, trading down at $156. Martin Marietta down $6, about less than 2% to the downside. So we've got some movers and we've got some shakers. So what are we going to be watching? Well, we've got the Fed coming out at 2 o'clock. We've seen a little bit of a rally. That rally is about ready to take a rest. Take a rest, Stevie. How do you know that? Well, I don't know that. I presume that it's going to do that based upon what's going on the 15-minute time frame charts out here. So in the upper left-hand corner, now forget about the these were actually my 30-minute charts. I just changed them to the 15-minute, and so the oscillator and change line is actually for the 30-minute time frame. I'm not going to screw around with it right now. Instead, what I want you to take a look at is on a 15-minute time frame chart, you're going to complete, this will be at 11:15, so 6 minutes from now, you will complete the TD9 count pattern. That is the same for the Dow, and that is the same for the Russell 2000. So we've got 3 of the 4 that have got TD9 count tops. That, to me, suggests that we should see a bit of a breather, a retracement. Now, as far as where would price retrace to, well, let me just put the oscillator and change line here for the ES minute. Let me change that to a 15-minute time frame. Give me a moment here. This is a multiple time frame tool that I use, so I can put multiple time frames on one chart at one time. But and so what was up there was the 30-minute chart. You just saw me change that to 15. So there we go. So the first likely price target on a pullback should take us to about 40.68 or so. That's on the ES mini we're looking at. That's where the current oscillator and change line is at. If price gets below that level, then what we'd be looking for is price to pull back into one of really 3 areas. 40.58, the top of the 15-minute profile. 40.54, the center of the 15-minute profile. And then down around 40.47 to 40.48, the bottom as well as its TD9 count breakout area. I suspect that's where price would head to. But it's really one step at a time. So nice little rally that we've got here. Fed day, things typically kind of come back towards neutral, and I'm not saying that it has to be totally flat out there. Now, what happens if these TD9 count patterns fail? Great question. They don't always work, like all patterns out there. If they fail, that suggests there's still strong momentum move in the 15-minute time frame charts for price to move to the upside. Well, I'm going to close these charts out here. I'm not going to save those. And then let's go take a look at the ES Mini in general speaking. When I say general, I'm referring to daily and then all the other intraday time periods that we take a look at. So the reason that I focus on the 15-minute chart, you'll see that now. As you look to this panel of 8 charts out there, none of them other than the 15-minute has some kind of a topping pattern out there. So I was interested to see, do all 4? Because if all 4 did, that would be a nice synergistic message. They don't, as we took a look at. But 3 of the 4 do have TD9 count topping signals out there. So if, in fact, these patterns fail, then it suggests we had the higher price. And the higher price would take us to where? You know, that's a great question. I would look to the 60-minute chart. No, I wouldn't do that either. I would have to say 4097 would be a likely, 4093 to 4097 would be a likely target zone, but more likely than not, we're going to see some type of a pullback or a retracement out here. Let's just take a quick peek at the NQ's charts. See if maybe some of its intraday time periods are not in alignment with the ES Mini. So let's just see if for any of its time frames, intraday time periods, if we've got any other kind of a topping pattern or topping signal out there. So this is taking just a few moments here to put together. Come on, go ahead and populate. And so 30-minute chart, yeah, no signal. The NQ, why does this say nothing? I thought the NQ had a... I'm looking at the 15-minute chart here for the NQ, and that's not showing a TD9 count. Maybe it was the Russell. Maybe it was the NQ that didn't. I apologize. I can't recall off the top of my head. I'm not going to go back there. Here, if we take a look at the NQ chart, so let's just take a look at the NQ chart. It's on a topping. I take that back. A 10-minute chart out there did confirm, and that was at 11:10, so 3 minutes ago. That did confirm a Rhodes momentum indicator top. So watch 12.013. If price gets below 12.013, we should see a move back to 11.995 or 11.958. So that's what's going on. We take a look at the ES and the NQ, and we look at its intraday time periods. We're going to switch back and take a look at the black background charts. Should have probably given you the bigger overview of what's going on inside the markets. We'll do that here momentarily by switching to this panel. This panel is the 4 equity future contracts for their daily time frame out here. In the upper left, you've got the ES Mini. In the upper right, you've got the NQ. The lower left, you've got the Dow. Lower right, you've got the Russell 2000. What you'll see is yellow rectangular shapes that identify the consolidation patterns. So the cool thing about a consolidation pattern is that when and if price breaks to either side, what it does is it provides us with a measured move. That measured move tells us that price should make that move to at least that level. When I say at least, measured moves are when you break through a consolidation, you're typically going to run and make that measured, but it's going to be equal to or greater than the measured move. I know I can easily say that. Let's take a look at the NQ. That's in the upper right. In fact, let's not make it the upper right. Let's just make it the entire page. Now, so if it breaks the upside or the downside, what you and I can do is we can come up with a price projection. To the upside, that likely would get us to 12.911. To the downside, if we move this, that gets us back into our lows, the lows I'm referring to back in October 13th. So the consolidation pattern is very important. We've got one going on for each of the 4 equity futures contracts. We'll be right back.
Currencies, commodities, and bond markets are as important as ever right now with how they're driving the volatility in equity markets across the globe, which is why it's a great time to try out Teddy Kegstad's Tiger Forex Report. Teddy Kegstad breaks down the Forex markets every Monday using his 30-plus years of experience as a trading veteran of futures, Forex, stocks, and options. Teddy releases his weekly Tiger Forex Report every Monday morning with coverage of all the major currency pairs, including the dollar index, the euro dollar, pound dollar, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, as well as many more, and he also has weekly coverage of the crude oil market and the 30-year T-bonds, as they both influence Forex markets tremendously. When you sign up for the Tiger Forex Report, you also gain instant access to Teddy's 60-minute webinar archive he just hosted, Forex Strategies and Fundamentals, What is Behind the Tiger Forex Report. For all the details and to start your 30-day Tiger Forex Report subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Welcome back. Dow's up 188, S&P 23, NASDAQ 168. We do have one request. Let's go take a look at it. This request coming from Michael S. Michael writes in, he says, "Hey, Steve, could you do a technical analysis on Moderna, symbol mRNA? I've got a long-term and short-term position. Thank you." You're most welcome. So let's go switch over and actually take a look at the white background charts. What we'll see out here, Michael, is that yesterday's price action negated a TD9 count top, a daily TD9 count top that had been in place. That took hold back on November 16th. That led to a sideways move, a little bit more than a sideways move, and then yesterday, price took off to the upside, negated that signal. You do have price moving higher, doing less relative energy. That's only an issue if a bearish reversal candle were to form. If I open up the daily time frame just to look for where price is headed to next, you've got 221.50 as a TD9 count breakdown level. So what you'd love to see, that's not been tested yet, but price is making its way back to that area. You'd love to see it close above that. What happens if price doesn't close above it? Not much, other than you do know why, because price has made its way back to a breakdown resistance level. I wouldn't sell the position, and I doubt that you will. In fact, when you take a look at this chart here, you pretty much see a pretty decent sideways consolidation as well. So that could give you a measured move. If we try to figure that out, we'll just draw it in. I'm not going to worry about being exact out here. But I would do something like this for the top and at the bottom. Yeah, no, it's pretty easy. So there's your consolidation pattern for the most part. Now I'm just going to take that consolidation here. We're just going to move it up to the top. So there we go. Give us approximation area. So it's around 258 or so. So if you get above 221.50, what you should see is a move up to the 228 level. And again, that is the measured consolidation move inside of Moderna. If we look at the weekly chart, the only caution here, Michael, is that this week will complete bar number 9 of a TD9 count pattern. So you could get a intermediate term high that does form this week or next week. So you'd see a topping pattern on the daily time frame. Typically, you'd see that to then confirm what we're looking at on a weekly chart. So nothing to worry about, at least not as of December 14th. That could change at the end of the day, could change tomorrow or what have you. But right now, it does look like price wants to continue to move higher. Just be aware that you are in a weekly topping. You got a weekly topping signal that's going to confirm on Friday, but that high could come in sometime next week to maintain that pattern out here. 231.39 is the next resistance level on a monthly time frame. That happens to be I believe it's the center, but let me make sure here. Nope, that is the top. So the bottom of the profile was both the center and the bottom. So 231.39 looks like will be your next resistance level. And just lastly out here for Michael, we'll take a look at the 30-minute time frame chart. 30-minute time frame chart shows a nice TD9 count bottom. This was yesterday. This was the 12th. As price was coming to a close out there, then you get that big, gigantic gap to the upside. This morning, price had pulled back and was just simply testing the support at 194.86. That was the bottom of that 30-minute profile. No topping pattern here, so it does look like Moderna wants to continue to run to the upside. So hope that helps you out. Best of luck. Michael, thanks so much for taking the time to write in. Much appreciated. Thank you, folks in the den out here. So Mr. Bill writes in, hey, Steve, my charts say VIX change of 9.8 did not make the 10%. Remarkable. So I could think what Mr. Bill was talking about was yesterday, and thanks for even spotting that. I guess I was so sick yesterday afternoon after the show. But there was a great soccer game to watch. So, I didn't mind necessarily being laid up in bed, but so much so I didn't even catch that. So yesterday's rate of change, how can I find that out? Well, it would have been a minus, yeah. So that's what minus 9.8%. And what Mr. Bill was referring to, so let me just kind of get to what he was trying to make us aware of, which is the following. As soon as I can get to the charts, that's this chart right here. And this chart, which I probably need to update out here. This chart, and this is how I would find out what the one-day rate of change was. So yesterday, it was minus 9.8, as you point out, as far as a percentage. You'll see that, and I'm looking at the bottom portion of the chart here. The top yellow line is a plus 10% rate of change. The bottom is a minus 10%. You're at minus 9.8. I haven't done the work out there, Mr. Bill, to know if, rounding it up is okay. But what you typically get when you have a rate of change below minus 10%, and those are measured by these green arrows out here. It kind of you're not seeing it? Son of a gun. Sorry about that, Mr. Will. Thank you. Man, thank goodness I've got folks that are surrounded with me that are keeping me in check out here. So much appreciated. So now we've got the chart up on our screen. So again, this chart here, the very bottom panel, let me describe what we're looking at. The bottom panel is showing the one-day rate of change. And then what I'm really focused on there, as Mr. Bill pointed out, is ranges, a one-day rates of change above plus 10% and below minus 10%. Again, I've never done the rounding to know if 9.8 is the equivalent of a 10% move or not. But what I do know is when it's above and below 10%, and the ones where we have a rate of change less than minus 10% out there, that's identified with these green arrows out here, and they typically lead to initiation of higher price. And that's really the reason I believe that Mr. Bill was making that notice in the den. Thank you for doing that. My apology to subscribers for not even realizing that, although I don't know if I would have talked about it because it was minus 10%. But yesterday I was actually just glad to get those end-of-day reports out. So thank you, Mr. Bill, for bringing that to our attention. Much appreciated. Dan wants to take a look at fuel cell. FCEL is the ticker symbol out here. So let's let me get the black background charts just so I can, I say that. Now let me just move it over here. Oh, I know what I was going to show you. Okay, so we'll go back and we'll do that after. But fuel cell technologies right now trade at 379, which is above, we'll see it here momentarily, is above the top of its profile out there. So a close today, Dan, above, that's where sellers are hanging out. So there's a little bit of a battle going on at 375. We're at 379. Price is also moving up into a swing point, Dan. That's from the trading session of November 15th. About 14 million shares. So far today, in the first 2 hours of trading, you've done nearly 5 million shares. So you are pushing, it appears that you're pushing into that swing point with maybe similar-ish type volume. Won't know till the end of the day out there. But if you were pushing into it with volume, and in fact, if you took it out, meaning a close above 395 with volume, then what you would trigger today would be an A to B equals CD to the upside. So that pattern would look like this. The low from October 13th being the B point, the high being November 15th, and the C point out here would be as price pulled into that bullish structure daily profile on December 7th. Your 1-to-1 price projection would take you up to 425. We are not making that prognostication as we speak right now. Price got to close above 395 in order to make that statement. Now, let's go take a look at the white background charts out here, see if there's some additional information that might help us out with regard to what the intent of fuel cell is. So as we look at this, we see the next area of resistance above this 379, 375 level is up at 392. The 392, Dan, is the center of its weekly profile. So expect a bit of a battle as price gets into that area. And if price can clear that, well, you're really looking for that close above 395, right? You get a close above 395. And on a weekly basis, the volume that it's dealing with from that swing point out there is 48 million shares. And this week, it's only Wednesday, you've done 27 million shares. So you're kind of pushing into that swing point even on a weekly basis with what appears to be similar type volume. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. Looks like Fuel Cell wants to continue to motor on higher. Hope you're right.
If you want to take advantage of this sector, now is the time to subscribe to my Gold Report. The Gold Report is a comprehensive look at the metal sector as well as the markets that move gold, which is the currency and bond markets. New subscribers get a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. Every Monday morning, I publish the Gold Report with coverage of gold, silver, bonds, the XAU, HUI, GDX, as well as more than 30 different mining equities. To see for yourself the types of profitable trades that are recommended within the Gold Report, sign up now by visiting TFNN.com. Don't miss out on the next great gold trade. Sign up today.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Chart allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABCs, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
This segment is brought to you by Thinkorswim. For more information, just click the Thinkorswim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Welcome back, folks. So this is a set of interesting charts out here. Each of these are representing the S&P 500. So on the left-hand side, you've got the SPY. So now we'll take a look at the index ETF for that. This is a weekly chart, by the way, that we're looking at. Next to that is the cash index for the S&P 500. Next to that is now the March contract for the ES Mini. And then next to that is the ETF for the equal-weighted version of the S&P 500. RSP is the ticker symbol there. Now, what you'll see in each of these is that price is trading within their descending price channel. out here. So no breakout. We're still in a bearish price channel, if you will. If price is able to break above that, as it has in the Dow, that will tell us we've got a change in trend. You can draw these on your charts as well. Now, we did roll over into the March contract. That changed the lines a tad versus when I had the December contract up here. The December actually looked more like the blue diagonal, not blue diagonal, well, it is diagonal line, the blue dash diagonal line out there. But, I had to reset that when we rolled over. I didn't have to, but I did reset those lines to the upside inside the March contract for the ES Mini. So I would say that I would really be using that red diagonal line for the ES Mini. That price would need to break above that to tell us that we've got something else going on inside the market, maybe a change in trend to the upside. So that's on a weekly basis. So hopefully that helps you out. This is what it looks like here using a daily time frame, but basically the same set of price channels out there. Now here, when we're looking at the equity future contract, is what I've got my synthetic symbol out here. It's just easier for me to grab more data, but you'll see again, so it's only the Dow that has broken out of that descending price channel, and then that is more a reflection of again, global capital wanting to be invested in large cap stocks. At least that's Stevie's impression of what is going on. Okay, enough of that. It doesn't look like the TD9 counts for the 15-minute time frame have taken hold. If the Dow is at 234 right now, and the S&P is up 28. But I have to go back and actually look at that to confirm that. In the meantime, there were a couple of requests. One might not have been request, but I'm going to take a look at it anyways. This is for Bob in Spokane, and that is ticker symbol BTAI. So let's just change panels out here. We'll go back to the white background charts. And BTAI is Bachman Turner Overdrive. No, just kidding. That would be BTO. But BTAI is Bioxyl Therapeutics, which right now is just consolidating with inside its daily profile. So this forms a Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. It doesn't confirm that pattern until December the 8th. But we can see here that price explored both the bottom of the profile at $17, even Steven. And right now, price is going to go explore the top of the profile. And the top of the profile is at $19.17. Price is able to close above that. That would be a very positive outcome. If it does that by Friday, well, what it would do on the weekly chart is trigger bar number 8. Well, bar number 8 is going to complete. But what it would do is it would put bar number 8 with the high of the pattern. And that says that on a weekly basis, BTI, so an intermediate term basis, could be forming a top between this week and the end of the year. Because today would be bar number 8, next week bar number 9, and then that takes us in towards the end of the year out there. So over the course of the next couple of weeks, I'd keep my eye on BTAI. It looks like you're getting real close to getting that. Looks like you might have already gotten it now. Yeah, because the high was 1917, 1923. So as we were speaking live on the air, BTI is now going to trigger bar number 8 on a weekly basis. Keep watching the daily time frame chart because if you're getting a topping signal intermediate term, you should get a short-term signal. When I say short-term, because we're looking at weekly, that's what the daily would look like. I don't see that in the cards right now as we speak, Bob. The reason is because if we take a look at a 30-minute time frame chart, we don't have any kind of a topping pattern out here at all. So we do know that price is taking on resistance, the daily profile where sellers reside, and if price can clear that level, which the 30-minute chart is saying, hey, it should be able to do that, then you should continue to see higher price out there. So hope that helps you out, even though I don't believe it was a request. And if it was a request, well, then I'm glad that I got to it. The next one, which I know was a request, was to take a look at the XLK. And this is for 2 me stocks out here. And the question goes like this. Steve, I've been long XLK, looking to add after Fed speak. Any suggestions where? You're thinking 133.55 would be the range. So 134. So to add to your thought, I'm not sure how you got to 133. I don't need to know. Instead, I'm just trying to add to you other areas to look at. So what you and I know is that yesterday, price was able to close above the top of its daily profile. Now, it had done that maybe about a week ago, and today we're still trading above it. And price is dealing with the resistance. It's breakdown TD9 count resistance level. Now, price has not taken that out. It tried to take it out yesterday, but it failed to do so. 136.18 is the number. 136.47 right now. Closing above 136.18 would be, at Toomey stocks, would be a real positive. 134.03 on a pullback. You had 133.50. I can share with you 134.03 is both the top of the daily profile as well as the oscillator and change line. Below that, should we get that, then your buy zone is really between 129.47 and 130.99. That is because it's a bullish structured profile. But we don't have any signal that our price is going to get back there. But if it did, and you're trying to add your position, how about ahead of time? Going ahead and putting an order in between the 129.47 and 130.99 level out there. Use some kind of lucky number or something along those lines. I'm not sure where to tell you. I just know that that is the range where price should be able to find support. And if price were to close below 129.47, well, then we've got something else to deal with. On a 30-minute time frame, now the weekly chart looks very bullish. You trade above last week's high. That's a bullish outcome. Monthly chart, you're trading above last month's high. That's a bullish outcome. If we take a look at the 30-minute time frame chart out here, no signals whatsoever. 134.19 is the top of the current 30-minute profile, but by day's end, that could easily change. So I just stick with the daily time frame chart that we have out there. We just look to the 30 minutes, see if there was anything of interest there. What we found out is the only thing of interest is there's no type of a topping signal or anything. So I hope that helps you out. Best of luck to you on adding XLK to your long position. That was for Toomey stocks out there. Bob in Spokane did want to take a look at Goldilocks. So let's go take a look at gold out here. The question is, Steve, thoughts on gold? Please, thanks in advance. So if we take a look at the daily time frame out here for gold, everything is really pretty much bullish. You've negated the TD9 count pattern out here, so that's beautiful. So price should continue to run higher. Now, it's made its way back to the highs from back on August 10th. So if it can clear those highs being at 1824.70, if price can clear that, then more likely than not, what you're going to look is a move back towards the 1911-ish area. Now, that's the daily time frame for the February contract for gold. If we take a look at the 5-hour time frame chart out here, I've got a Rhodes Momentum Indicator signal. That formed when we got a bearish engulfing candle. That was easy to do at 11 o'clock last night. Nonetheless, there's support at 1813, and below that would be 1782. Resistance here, 1836.90. 240, 120, not much here. You know, the reality is, Bob, is if we take a look at gold's price action, since about 10:30, 11 o'clock yesterday, all we've seen is basically sideways action out. So I don't know, here's what I can share with you. Gold negated a TD9 count yesterday. Prices trade about the top of its daily profile. What Goldilocks should do is continue to move higher. Steve Rhodes with TFNN. We'll be right back.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
The technology around us is changing every day. With so much happening, it can seem impossible to keep up with all the information. David White's investment newsletter, The Technology Insider, is designed to give you all the information you need to understand the technology that shapes today's markets and tomorrow's future. David White has made his living staying on the cutting edge of technology. His weekly newsletter will give you specific recommendations for value tech stocks, as well as entry prices, target prices, and stops to set for each trade. Dave delivers his weekly newsletters every Friday with updates throughout the week. You can get the Technology Insider at TFNN.com for only $37.50. Sign up for David's newsletter, The Technology Insider, and get an inside look at everything the technology sector has to offer. Try it risk-free today with our 30-day money-back guarantee. TFNN, educating investors.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back. Dow's up 245, S&P 30, NASDAQ 198, Russell's up 12 points. We're taking a look at ticker symbol AN. This is for Phil inside the Tiger's Den. And AN is AutoNation Inc., trading out at 115.05 right now. It will go ahead and form bar number 8 of a it likely will form, it'll form bar number 8 of a TD9 count. And in order to complete a daily TD9 count bottom, price tomorrow must close below 116.24. You're at 115.05 right now. So I'd be paying attention to that to see if you get that TD9 count bottom. You may not get that out there. But if you do, then it's giving you the sign of a bottom, a daily bottom. Now, there's also an A to B equals CD pattern out here. So you've got two patterns that are in play. The A to B equals CD pattern. I'm just going to draw the A to B line. That's easy. And then I'm just simply going to move that to the C to D leg out there. So you can see what price has done. It's very close to having made the 1-to-1 A to B equals CD fill. So if we got a bullish reversal candle, you could get a Gartley buy pattern or a buy the D point pattern. We don't have that as we speak right now. But if you did, that's what I'd be watching for. So you've got two potential bottoming patterns that could form inside of AutoNation. On a weekly time frame, price is consolidating with inside a new weekly profile that runs from 97.97 at the bottom all the way up to 125.37 at the top. Price right now is above its green oscillator and change line, so that tells you you've got some strong momentum to the upside. As long as it can hold that area, you should see a move eventually to 125.37. Good old-fashioned consolidation on the monthly chart as well. That's between its profiles at 92.84 up to 133.48. So to finish off AutoNation out here, let's take a look at that 30-minute time frame chart. And on a 30-minute, what AutoNation did earlier today, I take that back. At 3:30 yesterday, it formed a Rhodes momentum indicator bottom. It did that when it generated that bullish hammer candle. Now what price is doing, or should do, is trying to do, is take on resistance. And on a 30-minute time frame, that resistance level is between 116.46 and 116.77. So that's what's going on in the short term. That's what's going on the daily, weekly, and the monthly time frame charts. And it does look like AutoNation should complete a TD9 count pattern tomorrow. May also form a Gartley buy pattern if we get a bullish reversal candle. So, Phil, I hope that helps you out. That provides you with the information you were looking for on AN. If not, go ahead and write back, and I'll be happy to retake a look at whatever it is you need. The next request coming in from I apologize, I don't remember who asked. Golf Guy. I think it was the Golf Guy who was asking about AMD, and the email's off of my phone right now. I take that back. So let's take a look at AMD. I don't believe you were in AMD, is my recollection. But here's what AMD is doing. Right now, it just consolidates. So Waves makes a wave number 7 top. That's letter G. And Basil's got a workshop coming up. I believe it's tomorrow. And I'm sure that he will talk about wave number 7. This is just one very small aspect of the Chapman wave out there. But this did identify that top. Price pulled back. Why did it stop where it did? I don't know the answer to that. What price is trying to do right now is regain its daily oscillator and change line. And if it can close above 70.97, you're at 71.11 right now, it will accomplish that. And that would suggest a move up to the 72.36 level. If price can clear 72.58, then you're moving back to its profile high in the 75.80 level. The weekly chart for AMD does have a nice TD9 count bottom. Price right now just dealing with resistance, which is the top of its weekly profile. That's at 72.88. You got a nice TD9 count bottom on the monthly time frame chart. It says over time, price should make its way to 95.06. So you got to love AMD. It formed a nice TD9 count bottom on the daily, weekly. While it was doing that, it was forming a Rhodes momentum indicator signal on the daily time frame. Right now, you basically have a consolidation between support and resistance, and that is its profile levels. So your question, now I remember the question, was, can this get back to 104? Yeah, that was your question. Can this get back to 104? Well, before it gets back to 104, you've got a battle. You've got a battle at 75.80. You then have a battle that was wave number 7, but mostly because it created that Three River Evening Star. You've got a battle up at the 79.23 level. So those would be your battles. And then above that, you've got one at 81.47. So you've got nice bottom on the day, on the monthly and the weekly, really on the daily, monthly, and weekly out there. So over time, I would say that price should at least be able to make its way back to the 95.06 area. And what my eyes focused on here, Golf Guy, is really that monthly oscillator and change line. Again, currently printed at 95.06. So I hope that helps you out. And thank you very much for the request. Rahul, inside the Tiger's Den, was commenting, I believe was asking the question. So the question was, does that mean that the ES Mini has topped? And what he was referring to, I believe, was the set of charts that I showed you. We'll go back to those sets of charts out there so as I can find them. Oh, here's one of them. So here's the weekly time frame set of charts. So I showed you this one. This one shows that we have the S&P represented by 4 different instruments. The SPYs, one, obviously, the equal-weighted version of the SPY or the S&P, the RSP. And then you've got the equity future contract. In this case here, it's March, as well as the actual cash indice. And so you can clearly see that price is up at resistance. So if you're asking me, generally speaking, on an intermediate term weekly basis, has the S&P 500 top? It has until it proves otherwise. To prove otherwise, price would have to close above the descending trend line. It'd have to close above it on a weekly basis. But you're asking me, has it topped out there? And if I go back and I take a look at the, we'll change screens out here. Let me actually get it going, and no, change the screen. ES 0323. Come on, Stevie. And now I'll change the screens out there. So if your question was from a timing standpoint, then I'd have to go take a look at the intraday charts out here, and that's what we're going to do. So I want to be able to answer it thoroughly. So we're letting these charts here populate. I think the real issue was the only topping signal. My recollection, we began the show with this, Rahul, was the TD9 count on a 15-minute time frame, which I believe was negated. But let's go find out here momentarily as soon as this thing here populates. And no, it did not. So the TD9 count for the ES Mini is still in place out there. That high, the high that price would need to close above on a 15-minute basis to negate that pattern, is at 40.8550. So you got a top on the 15. You've got a Rhodes momentum indicator top on the 10. You got nothing on the 30. Really got nothing on anything else out here. The 240 negated a TD9 count top. It did that at 10 o'clock this morning. So has it topped out here? You know, just simply from a trend line standpoint, Rahul, that is the message that the charts are providing to both you and I. So hope that helps you out. Thank you so much for the request. G-Man is asking about Amazon. So let me get over to the other set of charts out here. Let's put an AMZN. And let's actually read the question. G-Man writes in, you're welcome, Rahul. G-Man writes in, Steve, can you take a look at Amazon for a short play? I am not in the stock, just have been watching it. Yes, Basil's webinar is tomorrow. Great. Thank you very much. Out there. So, Amazon from a short standpoint. Saved by the bell. Just kidding. So I'm going to take a look at Amazon. We get back from this breakout here. We're going to try to help out G-Man as best as we can. Of course, I'd like to help you out as well. Steve at TFNN.com. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
You might think that if you want to be successful at trading in the stock market, you're going to need a crystal ball. After all, it's impossible to predict the future, right? Like any endeavor in life, before you decide it's impossible, get some advice from the experts. You might find that it's not so impossible after all. For daily market overviews that give you direction on the key indices, selective stocks, and commodities, subscribe to the Opening Call newsletter at TFNN.com. The Opening Call newsletter is written by Basil Chapman, creator of the trading methodology known as the Chapman Wave. The Chapman Wave up-down sequence gives you an edge in identifying price turns, finding the peaks and valleys in stock prices. Get the Opening Call newsletter by Basil Chapman in your inbox every day. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know, and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Everything in the universe is governed by the Fibonacci sequence. This mathematical principle is responsible for everything from the most aesthetically pleasing artwork to patterns in the stock market. To stay on top of stock patterns you can take advantage of, sign up for the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter at TFNN.com. When you subscribe, you'll get a weekly report from veteran day trader Larry Pesavento on stocks you need to pay attention to. And you can trust Larry's analysis. After all, he's got 45 years experience as a day trader. Larry will also provide daily charts, videos, and data on the key markets that he's tracking. Expect notifications from Larry on market movement you need to act on at any time. First-time subscribers also get a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you're not satisfied, let us know and you'll get a full refund within 30 days of signing up. Subscribe to the Fibonacci 24/7 newsletter today. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Sign up for Basil's live webinar, airing this Thursday, December 15th. Basil Chapman will be hosting his first ever live trading webinar, just in time for the holiday season. While Basil will focus on the S&P E-mini futures, other symbols from gold, crude oil to natural gas and more will be traded as appropriate. Basil will demonstrate specific Chapman wave techniques, as well as answer questions live. Spots are limited, and Basil goes live Thursday, December 15th. You don't want to miss it. To sign up, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, folks. Hey, tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and record the show between 8 and 9. So please join me. No, that's tomorrow. That's Friday. So my mind is a little off here, at least off by a day. But note that on your pad of paper out there. Friday morning between 8 and 9 is when we'll record the Trader's Edge show. We're taking a look at Amazon. This is for G-Man inside the Tiger's Den who wants to take a short in it. So, we look at the daily time frame out here. G-Man, I'll simply expand out the screen. Price is trading with inside its profiles. It's tested the top and the bottom. It's done that within the past 3 sessions out here. The bottom of the profile is 87.74. It's been tested. It is held. The top of the profile has also been tested. That is held. That was yesterday, 95.23. So from that perspective, you got a TD9 count bottom. So that's a pretty tight range. I don't think you're looking for a tight range like that in order to take this the sell position out here. But 95.23 would be the better spot versus 93.03. Are we going to worry about $2? Knowing that you've got support, both the TD9 count bottom, profile support that is held. I'd be real patient out here. If I look at the weekly time frame chart, if you were to get a bullish reversal candle this week, you would then confirm a Rhodes Momentum Indicator bottom on that. No bottom pattern here on the monthly time frame. That suggests that price wants to get back to 81.30 out there. Do I see any other signs of a top out here? Not really. Not at least at the moment. So I would be patient with regard to Amazon. It's not as a clear of a top out there. That clear topping signal inside Amazon was all the way back here when it formed wave number 7. Again, part of the Chapman wave as well as the Rhodes Momentum Indicator top. And that was back at the August highs out there. So I hope that helps you out, G-Man. And thank you so much for the request. Tim wrote in and wanted to take a look. He'd like to short Apple. So if we take a look at the patterns here for Apple, right now price is trading with inside a new profile that's trading above the top of new profile that formed yesterday. And the top of that profile is at the 144.37 level. So we're going to have to do this because we're out of time. My apology, Tim. Would you please be kind enough to write back to me tomorrow? Do it first thing. We'll take a look at Apple, see what the setup is there. Folks, stay tuned. Got great programming. Got the Fed speak at 2:30 is when Powell will be doing the Q&A. And I'll see you tomorrow at, 11 o'clock sharp. Have a wonderful Wednesday, folks.